right. Wow, what's cracking with y'all? Welcome to the Combat Tool Bag Combat Breakdown. I know it's been a while, y'all, but this is where we interview high performers in the martial arts industry, and I am half of your host and panel, Michelangelo Magistro Low, aka Prince the Hustle God, with my very special co-host, another PA player with all the gems, all the grams. Mr. Did I mention that? Mr. Underground himself. My brother, talk to him.
What's up, y'all? Y'all feeling? I'm Mr. Underground from Underground Boxing News. I've been doing it for a while. I love doing what I do. And I'm here to help my brother out being a co-host on his show tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that said, we want to welcome a very special guest back to the show. My guy coming back with the win, the legend, Don Stewart. Don, welcome. What's cracking with you, cuzzo?
Man, so good. I did win, man. You know, I'm ready to get back active, man. I feel good. I just win. Man.
I like to hear that, man. I like to hear that. So before we fuck hesitating. Let's dive right in. So just as a little background, this is interview part 2 with Don. So we do have our first interview up on the channel. Feel free to check that out. But right now you're here with us. So give them a little bit of background about you before we dive into your last fight, bro.
Yeah, man. I started boxing back when I was 17. You know, I had amateur fights. You know, I won both of my amateur fights. I lost a few. Then I turned pro. Late. You know, my early 30s. And then had a lot of offers that hurt me and got wins. And recently I just had I'm sitting on 2 wins back to back.
My God.
Come by the tail. And
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm more focused now.
You said one decision, one by KO?
Yeah.
Good shit. I ain't mean to cut you off. Keep going, bro.
Oh, no, good, man. So yeah, I had 2 KO by decision, and I'm ready to. I'm a different fighter than I feel like this past year. A lot has changed, you know. And I know you're a fighter, so you can understand that.
Absolutely, especially diving into the winner column and being on a winning streak. My co-host got a question. What's up, bro?
How you doing, buddy? This is Mr. Underground. I asked you a question. You said you came off of congratulations on your 2 wins. You just came off of what was in May of 2023. What was in March of 2024, March 30, 2024. Now I see you had a big layoff. What was the reason for the layoff? That was almost like a year layoff. You had a knockout and then you came back that decision.
Good question.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on outside the ring, you know, that I'm focusing on. And boxing, to be honest, man, helps me more outside the ring. It's stuff that I'm focusing on. Like, you know, boxing, man, it feels stressful. You know, it makes you stronger, man. Appreciatively, when you feel stuff in like real life situations, man.
That's real. And you kind of hinted toward that in our first interview. How you talk about like where most people say, or at least the quote and phrase that I was taught. I tried to say that at the same time. Is boxing don't give a shit about life, and life don't give a shit about boxing. But you have this interwoven connection, and you spoke about it. It was like boxing almost feeds your drive, and the things you engage in outside of boxing. So I thought that was dope, especially being an entrepreneur yourself. Actually, all three of us on this panel are entrepreneurs, so that's something that we do got in common. So yeah, the layoff. You said you basically had a lot of stuff going on outside of there, but that fight that fight you came off before the layoff kind of helped you in life, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I could take when I talked to my manager. Because to be honest, man, I wasn't even gonna take the fight because I was kind of focused on other things, man. I was like, you know what, the big way to take this fight, I still got to fight with him, before I had the club stuff. And it was like 100% everything myself, the other stuff that I got going on. And I took the fight, and I got the victory.
Man, I like to hear that.
Now I see you turn pro. You said you turned pro in your early 30s. You took a lot of fights. You had a lot of fights the first year you turned pro. Now, do you think you took your fights because when you turned pro in 2020, you had 3 fights almost back to back? Do you feel like you took your fights too soon, or do you feel like you was trying to rush your career?
Hey, that's a great question, man. That's a great question. Hey, I took the training that I was dealing with, man, before I turned pro. I told him, hey, man, because I started boxing at 17, which to me, that's late. That was late.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm ready, hey, man, I want to let go pro. And he was kind of bullshit. And I was like, well, I'm going to go pro. I'm turning pro. And I turned pro. I started taking fights, man. I didn't care. I didn't know I was getting out. Win, lose, the draw. So,
hey, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because we got the same mentality and the same story. But continue, please.
Yeah, I basically say fuck it, and I'm feeling good. I don't care. But yeah, I like a lot of fights. I wasn't ready. I'm gonna just fight it down. And I know I am. Win, draw. And my motto is, if I lose, I'm gonna make the motherfucker think twice before they fight me again.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was starting my career as pro, I wasn't that fighter. But now, I'm letting my hands go, and they gonna feel it.
Hey man, talk that shit. I got a question. In between that, now there's matchmaking that goes into this. There's timing that you receive a fight that goes into this. But what was the transition like from being able to struggling with those fights in the beginning, taking anything and diving into the winners column and taking that win? And what was the mental shift? What was the training shift for you? What was the evolution that separates old Don from the legend?
To be honest, man, really just I became a better fighter when I stopped giving a fuck what happened to me when I walked to the ring. Because that's how you gotta fight, man. One of my homeboys, man, I live out here. He an ex-Marine, and he told me, he said, man, when you were to fight, you really can't give a fuck whether you live or die. And that's how you gotta fight. You can't worry about what happens to you.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great saying. I think there's I'm butchering the quote itself, but it's like he who thinks of himself first in battle is the first to fall. So it falls in line to what you're saying. Like you gotta, to a degree, have a sense of reckless abandon, but in boxing, obviously, control controlled in their approach and with behind strategy. So talk to me real quick about training camp. What is vibes like for you in training camp? What do you listen to in training camp? What does your environment look like? And what for what you can talk about, what does your regiment look like?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know most people like to run the job to music. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'll put headphones in for the earbuds, but for the most part, man, I just take that shit off. And I just run. Cardio is big thing, man. I've seen a lot of fighters that can punch and they know how to fight, but they just tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And my training camp basically look like I just a lot of punches, a lot of runs, and I'm just at the point where I just stay dedicated. I don't think that much, man. I just go after it, man. I got that. I'm that Mexican style fighter now.
Hey man, I like how you describe it and keep it simple because it sounds so old school in the approach. Like fuck it, I run. There ain't no science to it. I just run. You know what I mean? A lot of punches. You know what I mean? I fuck with it. Cause of what was you gonna say?
Now you're 37 years old. You have a few losses. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see your career, your boxing career in 5 years?
Hmm.
And that's a good question.
Heavy question.
Man, in 5 years. Honestly, man, I don't even know if I'm boxing in 5 years, man. You know, I know I'm up in age. I'm up there, man. So I know the rest of any fight I take from here on out, I'm gonna fight my ass off.
Hell yeah. Hey, paint that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but in that 5 years though, if you're not boxing, if you are boxing, paint a picture for us on what that looks like for you. Best case scenario.
Okay. I just, I would like to have idle shot, but I know I got to take a lot of angles. You know how the business goes. Once you lose, people like to disregard you, man.
Yeah. And start treating you like
fighters nowadays scared to fight each other because they scared of angles.
So what that
so that's why I'm more thankful now. I know what people feel like. So when I walk away, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
What was you gonna say?
So I was gonna say, if you can do anything different now before you turn pro, what would be the difference between then and now?
I would have when I started boxing at 17, I would have stuck with it and dedicated myself. I would have had way more fights before I turned pro. But back when I was younger, I wasn't disciplined. That's a key part of the success. Especially with boxing, man. You can't take no shit off. I've always been an athlete. I played football, baseball, basketball. I always been a short dude. I played running back when I was in high school. Like, I got I'm the first. I'm the first one to jump after the play, running back to the other.
How tall are you?
He said, what?
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5", man. 5'4". I like to run. 5'4".
Hey, bro, this is like my twin. Everything he said is like my story, my My dimensions, all that shit. It's the same, literally. That's crazy. And then my co-host, I gotta have him interview me at some point because he asking all these great fucking questions. But y'all can keep going. I ain't gonna keep interrupting.
No, he has real great questions. I love it.
Yes.
Another question I have. I know you've been active like a lot. Besides that, almost year you took off last year. How active would you like to be in 2024?
Before the end of this year, I would like to have at least 3 more fights.
That's a good question. And a good answer. So now I have an opinion of going not to move backwards, but when you said you were like that, like the idea of a title shot, and you were talking about the L's and shit, I think it's a little different because we have L's that depending on the position that we fight to put ourselves in, granted we don't have that like crazy backing, that those bigger opportunities are more likely, I think, to fall in our hands as the B-side guys than another undefeated prospect or a great on paper contender, because like you said, those guys are who have O's are trying to protect those O's via the matchmaking, right? And them playing their opponents. So I wouldn't say a title shot for you would be something that would be out of the question or obnoxious to think about. I would actually keep that at the forefront because 5 years from now, if you're not fighting, I think that title shot may come a little sooner than you think, you know? So sorry, go ahead. Oh no. Go ahead. I was about to change the subject and shit.
No, actually, that's hard to bring it up because I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys and I told him, I said, this era of boxing is for the underdogs right now because if you look at guys like Tyson Fury with Deontay Wilder, nobody thought that he would be there. And then you look at guys like Ricky Johnson getting knocked out by Ruiz, Ed Ruiz. You look at Teofimo Lopez getting stopped by Kimbo Street.
Yeah. You wanted something.
Like,
J-Rock got stopped by Charlo and then beat Hurd to become a unified champion. Brian Corbett, salute, family. But yeah, like, so I see what you're saying with that. It creates opportunities for the quote unquote B sides to actually be those upset kings, you know? So
yes, sir.
I think the call broke up with Cuz. He may give us a call back. So, but that gives me an opportunity to I had a question that I want to bounce off of bounce around in this community really. The concept, what's your opinion on peaking, on plateauing, and on overtraining? Because I have my own opinions on that, but I'm not as experienced as you, and I don't have the education. We're on two different sides of the country. So what is your opinion on peaking, plateauing, and overworking?
My opinion is like really knowing your body, man. You know, like, because obviously with boxing, to be honest with you, with this shit, you can't take no days off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I try to tell myself that with other stuff, when I'm doing other stuff outside the ring, and I know I'm saying like I have those gyms and shit, I gotta focus on that, you know. But honestly, when it's boxing, man, you gotta go hard every day, man. To be honest, there's no shortcuts to it. There's really not, man.
and in that though, that would kind of push against the idea of I would say overtraining, because in overtraining there's always this science of, hey, you got to give your body time to do the rest and recover, and I'm not sleeping on recovery. You need, and no pun intended there, recovery as a big part of growth. But I personally am on the same philosophy as you. He's come back in now, but the same philosophy as you, as you gotta work. You know what I mean?
Hello?
Yeah, you're back in, bro. We got you. But yeah. Oh, so just to catch you up, I threw out the idea of questions that I have about peaking, plateauing, and overtraining, and I want everybody's input on this. But he was of the same mind as me, where I'm like, this is a no days off sport. You gotta go, and yes, you gotta give yourself time to recover, but this is a no days off sport. You feel me? But and that in itself pushes against the idea of peaking too early. Yes, but he mentioned you have to listen to your body. So obviously there's a push and pull, but it goes against the concept of overtraining. But peaking, plateauing, and overtraining are some concepts that I threw out there, and I wanted people's input on that. And right in the chat, Brian Corbett, the family, he said most people overtrain, and even my guy Braulio Avila, he's like a 8-time gold medalist or 8-time medalist. He's an Olympian, and when we were warming up before the card, he was like, "You guys warm up way too much, way too much," and but when we talked about his training was ridiculous. It sounded like on some everyday overkill, go at it. But Brian Corbett again, that's why cats work out every day and not get bigger. Yeah, there's a point there too. But yeah, so what's your input on that, Mr. Underground, before we go back to bros?
I mean, I really think sometimes guys can overtrain, and I think sometimes guys can get called in for a fight at a short notice where another opponent can have an 8-week or 6-week full training, where another opponent can only have a 2-week or a 3-week training,
Or 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel like sometimes in boxing, boxing is a crazy sport, and sometimes you can't go off the record. Like he definitely can get a title shot, because nobody don't know. Being though your fights were so close, some fighters take fights a week ahead of time, 3 days ahead of time. So nobody really knows, but once you stop and get the business right and say, I'm fighting on these terms, I'm gonna do my 8 weeks training before I do any fight. I think that gives you more time. Like right now, you don't got a fight coming up. I want to take a fight until July, because you got to reconstruct your record. But that's the only thing, because when somebody look at your record, what's the first thing they're going to think? And you, as being a boxer, well, this is record. We want to take this. This is going to be like a tune-up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be to get me where I need to be. But being as though people want to think that, they're going to think it's the easy route. They want to think you're an easy route. Like, I can fight him, probably get him doing my record. You know what I'm saying? I might get stopped him, or I might just get beat him. So you're beating him on my record. But like you said, you don't care, you're a dog. You know what I'm saying? So you already got the L. But you're going to go in there and give it your all. But like I said, I wouldn't take no fast fight, no last minute fight, if I was you.
And just to stay in this peaking, plateau, and overtraining thing real quick, just because it seems like we're all in the same boat as far as there's a push and pull, but this is a everyday grind. Brian Corbett, but yes, before I go into Brian Corbett's phrase, it's an everyday grind, but seems like there's a we need to uncover a little bit more the nuance of the pullback and also the importance of recovery. Brian Corbett moved us to that point by saying boxers need ice baths, body rubs to increase blood flow, muscle recovery, like any other athlete. 100% agree. I think there are a lot of recovery tricks that we can use and need to use. But what are your guys' opinions on? I guess because we really focused our answers there on the overtraining aspect. So what about plateauing and peaking? For me, it's like I feel like bro said, you got to go every day. You got to give it your all, but you do have to listen to your body. So I'll have a hard day pause where I go all the way out and I just go crazy. And then I'll have a light day where I'll like cut the duration in half and I'll just kind of take it easy because I'm extremely sore to give myself that actual recovery, but not a not work day. You feel me? Um, so, but that's because I fear plateauing. I fear, like, I do believe that there are levels, and how do I say it? There are levels, like, and if you don't push yourself to the best of your ability regularly, you'll stay at a certain level, which will make you plateau instead of achieving an actual new peak. So for me, that's where I'm at as far as like plateauing and peaking. What are y'all's opinions on plateauing versus peaking? And you can take it in any direction, peaking too soon or finding new peaks, or what do you do not to plateau, or do you view that as just some bullshit?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel, like, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I like what I looked at, and, when you start feeling that pain, when you sit up, push up, running, when you start feeling that burn and that pain, that's when you really push your body. That's making you better. And one of my friends told me, man, you gotta train when you feel sick, when you're tired, when you feel good, when you feel bad, because you don't know what you're gonna feel when it comes fight day. I can like same thing on Wednesday. What is April? What 13th?
Yeah, 13th.
April 13th. Mm-hmm. Same thing I took a fight fucking June 20th. I don't know what I'm gonna do June 20th.
Right.
But when I wake up in the morning, once I concept the time, I still gotta fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
I ain't mean to cut you off.
So it's a thin line between overtraining and giving your body rest, because the body does need rest. And I know now that he's a UFC fighter. He's not a bodybuilding fighter. He did overtrain, and the doctor told him that he was pissing blood after the fight. He lost the fight, but he was pissing blood. The doctor told him like he overtrained for this fight. Mm-hmm. He had to wait for overtrained for the UFC with a winning record, but he overtrained. So it's thin line. That's why I say it's important to know your body and feel good. Ain't nothing wrong with rest. If you want to train in the morning, if you want to train in the evenings, but I feel like you have to really know your body and you have to listen to it. But every day you got to get the work in. You can't train 3 days a week and be a fighter. Like, you just can't do that. Like,
hey, great take. Underground, talk to him. What's your take on that? Peaking versus plateauing, your opinion on that and on what bro said, because I'm champion that 1,000%. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you guys on both of you guys' answers. I think the body do need time to rest. You know what I'm saying? Your body can break down. boxing is definitely a dangerous sport. People die in boxing. I think if you just peep at it, you know what I'm saying, take your time.
Yeah.
Give your body that recipe. This boy is going crazy right now.
Oh yeah, the Abdullah Mason fight. By the way, guys, for those who are watching, everybody's multitasking right now. He a slickster. But yeah. Oh, before I forget, Brian Corbett back in the chat. That's how guys like Thurman tear their muscles. Working every day isn't good for the body. Shit, even God took a day off. And hey, hey, you talking that talk, brother? You talking that talk? You know what I'm saying? Tay, what's cracking, Queen? How you doing? Yes, we back live. We right back at it. So I'm glad I got to talk to somebody about that. I had a opinion on that, and I was really like, I really want to hear other people's input on this. So along those lines, people the A sides, obviously they got their times when they're planning on fighting, and they can fight once or twice because of the size of their purses. They good. What do you feel about fighting year round or fight seasons or a off season? What are your thoughts on that? Do you have an off season? Do you fight year round? Is there times that you don't pick up the phone like nah, like not just about not being in shape, just this is an opportune time for me to fight. So yeah, what is your opinion on year round fights, a fight season or an off season, and how does that apply to you?
Yeah, I mean, if you got the training and the sponsorship to be able to, like I said, man, like most fighters, like have stuff, a lot of stuff going on outside the ring, you know. So if you can focus on this fight and you're trying to take the full living off of this boxing, then I say go ahead and fight all year round. It really depends on the person's situation in life, man. You know? Like, my favorite fighter is Mike Tyson. And I tell people this story. I say, hey, Mike Tyson got getting adopted by Cashtag was the best thing that ever happened to him. When he was a teenager, Tyson grew up, his parents' mom was crackers, he didn't have no guidance, man.
Yeah.
He actually was afraid to fight until they messed with his pigeons, and then that's the first fight he got him. He really, but Cashtag to get him out of school early to go small. We talking like 16, 17 years old, man. Get him out of school. So Cashtag took him in, and Mike Tyson was able to focus strictly on boxing. And that's huge. So everybody's life is different. And some people
and to that point, Mike Tyson fought, I think, 17 times his first year. So he had a year-round attack on that because of his ability to invest it into it full time because of Cashtag. So that's actually a great point.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's situation is different. Like Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson was living with Cashtag, he wasn't worried about this. He wasn't worried about that. But Cashtag saw talent in him, and he was like, hey, he saw how he was built as a 16, 17-year-old. He was built like a 25-year-old young man. At 16, 17. And he said, hey, okay, you're going to be heavyweight champion. You damn right. Look at him.
Yeah.
And he did like this. You don't need to go to school. You should have gone to school in boxing. Well, he adopted him. And he made him a heavyweight champion.
Yeah. So bringing my co-host back up to speed, Mr. Underground. I just introduced the idea of like year-round fights or year-round fighting versus a fight season and the off season, and how that applies to him. he he let us know, obviously, his favorite fighter is Mike Tyson. And because of his ability to invest, Cus D'Amato's ability to invest in Mike Tyson, he took the full-time approach where he was essentially able to fight year-round by fighting 17 times his first year as a professional, and also how he was able to take that to the next level and become a world champion. So, real quick, what are your thoughts on a fight season, a off season, and year-round fighting?
I think year-round fighting is perfect for any fighter, especially trying to build their career.
Yeah.
Or finish their career off. So if you do year-round fighting, you at least have to lead a year with at least 4 or 5 fights a year, which I think is perfect for any fighter, especially if you're in good shape, good health, good condition. I agree for year-round boxing. Like, how do you guys feel about the team combat?
Good question. You want to answer that first, bro?
Team combat fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got from Illinois, man. He actually got an on his 10-0, and he is doing the team combat. They going for 15 rounds, and he try to fight one round and
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they still fight. The guy that I'm talking about, I don't understand that. I wish he would have been stuck in boxing because dude was a dog. But hey, like I said, some people get out of the sport and they go switch off into other things. But the team combat, I mean, you still fight with training. It's a good thing, though.
Hey, real quick, I think that team combat, that team combat shit, like, if y'all see this, nigga, sign us up. We all the way with this shit, nigga. 1 round, nigga, for 4 bands a month, nigga. Man, let's go. Fuck that, nigga. One round. we go, bro. Like, yeah, and we be fighting regularly and granted, it don't do nothing with your record. Those are exhibition stuff. It's all for entertainment. Like, man, I'm trying to crack a head for a round. Like, what? How you feel about it, Mr. Underground?
Don't get me wrong. I think it's great for up and coming fighters. But I think sometimes the matchups don't be fair because I just feel like you can't put a guy in there with no professional bouts against a guy who have 12 professional bouts or just a crazy professional record. And to put a guy now, guys can get hurt.
Yeah.
From that, it just, don't get me wrong, but I do think it is good for the business. But I just think they need the matchup to be a little bit evenly and unevenly.
You know what, bro? I'm glad you said that because we were so on the other side, or at least I was so on the other side. I ain't look at both sides of the coin. Like, when you put it that way, there is known niggas in this shit. Like, there's known fighters. Like, I think it was Cuz out of there was a couple known fighters, like high records, people who fought on pay-per-view cards that are fighting basically amateurs. So I do see what you mean there as far as the mismatch, but I do think the danger level is reduced because they only fight in 1 round. And I seen a couple of their matches, and even the hitters, niggas that's actually trying to go in there and crack a skull for literally the whole round. There have been a lot of fails at that, a lot of fails because the matchmaking on paper, like on the surface, I agree 1,000% is like you can see the drastic difference when it's a mismatch, but so far I haven't seen a drastic mismatch to speak of, because I haven't seen anybody really get hurt, and I'm not, fingers crossed, I don't want that to happen, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't even thinking about them guys. I forgot all about it. Like, but oh yeah, so we're at the 40-minute mark. I don't want to rush to jump off, but we do got to start to bring it to and then just for the sake of you guys both being courteous with your time. I'm having a ball, but that don't mean this could go on all night. So I only got a couple more questions. Mr. Underground, Mr. Did I mention that? Is there anything in particular that you want to ask or know about the legend Don Stewart before I throw in last couple questions and get to wrapping us up? And it don't got to be one. You can ask a few, or if it's none, I could dive in.
I have not.
All right, cool. So your journey has been an interesting journey. I want to know, best case scenario, how does this journey, how does your last few years in boxing, this is reminiscent of a question asked, but ideally, best case scenario, how does the end of your career look to you? Paint that picture for us.
Being shocked and being underestimated, getting in, somebody underestimated me with a good record and get knocked out because that's really what I'm doing right now. And then at the end of my career, you know, focusing on stuff like that, right? But when I get there right now, like I said, I'm not nervous. I don't care about the same thing. As far as being underestimated, I don't care about that. I've always taken my wins. So I'm going to get some more wins. And I'm good with that. Because I'm focused. I got stuff going on outside of me. And I can live with that.
Hell yeah. And when you look back on your boxing career and you're talking to your son or your son's sons or your daughter's sons, what do you want to tell them about your experience, about what you've learned, and about what you can give them from the life you've lived in boxing?
About being resilient, you know, teaching them entrepreneurship and wins and losses. It comes with being boxers, man. You know, like that's part of life. I don't know nobody that as a human being, man, you don't have a story worth listening to if you've never failed at anything in life. Because we're not perfect. Most people are afraid to share their losses or failures. So, like,
you're onto something, because that's showing also, it's revealing a lack of attempting at being great. You ain't tried to do shit if you ain't failed at nothing, right? That's you dropping some gems, bro.
I love fun, man.
You dropping gems.
You ain't going for nothing. If you want to play it safe, stay in the house or stay in the bed.
Hey.
If you ain't feeling you ain't going for nothing, man.
Facts.
And that's the first part of it, like some part of success, but you gotta go for something, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro. You this was a great experience. I appreciate both of y'all for y'all time. I don't want to jump off, but I gotta wrap it up. So, bro, is there anything you want to tell the fans about what's coming up next, or about fans? Excuse me, or the people of the community who are here supporting us and supporting you. Is there anything you want to let the people know on how they can continue to support you and follow the rest of your journey?
You know, I'm gonna take my fight. You know, my next fight, I don't have a contract locked in yet. I have a firm thing, but there's key two for me, bro.
Yes.
They got them, and love to you.
Yes. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure, man, talking to you, and again, like you could be,
Hey man, and I appreciate the advice and the relationship that we have. You're a great person too. Yeah. Oh, tell them where they can follow you. Give them your Instagram again and all of your social media handles.
Oh, yeah, Don Stewart 311, and then you can see that on Instagram, Don Stewart. It's Don Stewart.
Don Stewart 311. That's on Instagram, guys.
Yep.
Don Stewart 311.
Yep.
Mr. Underground, please give them your handles and tell them where they can follow you and support you on your journey.
Underground _ box news. I do most of the fights in the tri-state area, which is Philadelphia, Delaware, New York, DC, Baltimore. I do Vegas, and I do I do a lot of places, but I'm mainly out of Philadelphia and the Vegas area. Follow me, man. I have everybody on my channel. Get in tune with these fighters. I got up and coming fighters. I got pro fighters. I got amateur fighters. I go to a lot of fights. I interview a lot of people. And my goal is to get the fighters intact with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? With the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Get down, man.
And that's Instagram and YouTube, guys. And I mean, he's out here. He's in these streets. All of us is. I'm fighting next week in Cicero, Illinois, Saturday. Guys, I appreciate my panel. That's my special guest, the legend Don Stewart. I appreciate my very special guest, my co-host, another PA player, Mr. Did I mention that? Mr. Underground himself. And thank you guys for tuning in and listening to a conversation from a bunch of boxing heads. You feel me? But
yeah,
again,
oh
no, dive in.
Hey, let the man go, bro. Your life, man. That's it, bro, man. Hey, go, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mark my words, and I appreciate the advice behind the scenes too. That said, we all love y'all. Pause if it's all guys watching, but we all love y'all. And until next time, and obviously we will have both my brothers back, of course. But until next time, y'all, deuces.